Nasir Abdul Karim, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the State of Palestine to Azerbaijan since 2010, the diplomat has received a multidisciplinary education and has extensive professional experience. He holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Engineering and Technology in Lahore, a master's degrees from the London Institute of Public Relations in Jakarta, and Edith Cowan University, as well as an information management course at Cambridge University. Prior to his diplomatic career, from 1982 to 1984, Nasir Abdul Karim worked as a mechanical engineer for a company in Dubai. He then served as third, second, and first secretary at the Embassy of the State of Palestine in Kuala Lumpur from 1989 to 1996. From 1996 to 2010, he served as counselor and deputy head of mission at the Embassy of the State of Palestine in Jakarta. He actively participated in numerous regional and international forums in the Middle East region. In addition to his native Arabic, Ambassador Nasir Abdul Karim is also proficient in English, Malay, and Indonesian.
Today our guest is the Palestinian ambassador to Azerbaijan for insights into the current situation, aftermath of the Gaza conflict, and the path to a more peaceful future. My condolences for the loss of lives, especially among children, the elderly, and women.
Thank you.
Mr. Ambassador, over the past month, the world has closely followed the conflict between Hamas and Israel on the Israel-Palestine border, resulting in the tragic loss of innocent lives, including children. How long do you anticipate this conflict will persist, and what, in your view, is the potential resolution for this long-standing issue?
Well, thank you for your question. What we've been seeing in the last 40 days is horrendous. It's not only the Palestinians, the whole world has been watching a genocide on live stream happening in the most heinous and terrible way against innocent civilian population. We see now till yesterday morning, the casualties were almost 12,000, 11,800 something, almost 6,000, sorry, and 450 children died. Among these 6,450 children, 1,700, more than 1,700 children were under the rubble. People couldn't, the rescue teams can't reach them, but they deceased, they died under the rubble. Women, 3,145, that is the count till yesterday morning. So by each hour we know that more people are dying because of the continuous Israeli bombardment of civilian targets, targeting hospitals, targeting schools, targeting even United Nations establishments where people seeked millions, tens of millions of people in Russia and in Europe. They dragged them to the Nuremberg trials. Israel leaders should be dragged to the International Criminal Court to face justice for the criminality that they've been imposing and they've been practicing against the Palestinian people in the last 40 days. Unfortunately, I can't tell you when it would stop because we don't know when these powers would think that it has to stop, because no one could stop this except these powers. Israel by itself will never stop it. Israel wants to ethnically cleanse Palestine, wants to kill as many Palestinians as is possible, and the intent to commit genocide was expressed by its own leaders, from their president, Herzog, to their prime minister, Netanyahu, to Minister of Defense. One of the ministers, Israeli ministers, I'm sure you follow this, called for dropping a nuclear bomb in Gaza, a nuclear bomb in Gaza. They describe the language they used, these leaders, describing the Palestinians as animals, describing the Palestinians as snakes or as cockroaches. They don't see Palestinians as humans, and that's why they commit these abominable crimes, abhorrent crimes, heinous crimes on a daily basis without any deterrence. They know that they could get away with it. And Israel has been dealt with tolerance among these countries, with total impunity, doing everything it does, all the crimes it does, without being questioned and challenged by the powers that be on the world stage.
In your analysis, what is the primary factor contributing to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which has endured for many years?
This conflict has started more than 75 years ago. And the main reason for this conflict, the root causes of this conflict, is military occupation and the imposition of an apartheid regime by this military occupation on the occupied population. And the apartheid regime is, in other words, is a regime of racist supremacy on other people. And Israel has been practicing this since its occupation in 1976, which is now almost 57 years, next to Israel in peace and in harmony. But what did we get in return? What we had in return is that Israel, till this moment, refused to recognize the Palestinian rights to have their own state. And thus, this is the root cause of the problem. As soon as we end Israeli occupation and end the apartheid system that this occupation has been imposing on the Palestinian people, the issue should be resolved.
Mr. Ambassador, is there a discernible interest from global powers in the ongoing conflict between Hamas and Israel, given that the Israeli state's establishment aligns with the post-World War I New World Order? Can it be considered a product of this geopolitical landscape?
This conflict has started because of the continuation of Israeli occupation. And we shouldn't get it out of context. Unfortunately, as I alluded to in the answer in my first question, that the Western governments, in particular, the United States, Biden administrations, and the former administrations, and the United Kingdom, the ruling elites in particular, in these Western countries, they've been for long, tolerating and looking to the other side Israel occupation of Palestine. They never challenged. Actually, in other words, they aided and abetted the continuation of this occupation. I mean, if we look at what's been going on in the last countries, as encouraging it to maintain this policy. The current Israeli government, which these Western governments have gave us green light to commit what it's committing now, is one of the most extreme Israeli government in Israel history. These are the most extremist elements in Israel political spectrum now are part of the Israeli government, from Netanyahu to the rest of his government. And this is the reality of what is happening now in Palestine.
Mr. Ambassador, with Palestine historically being part of the Ottoman Empire and Jews facing restrictions in establishing a state during that era, there are suggestions that Palestinian actions during World War I laid the foundation for the current conflict. What is your perspective on this historical context? Palestine was part of the Ottoman Empire for centuries. Even though the Jews tried in those times, they were not allowed to establish a state in the territory of Palestine, nor even to obtain autonomy. Some sources indicate that the Palestinian Arabs betrayed the Ottoman Empire in World War I. The foundation of the Palestinian conflict was laid precisely in those years when the Palestinian territories were released from Ottoman control. What do you think about this?
Well, again, this is one of the absurd and preposterous narrative that Israel and its supporters try to spread to gaslight people around the world, people who don't have enough information about the reality of what's been going on. Palestine and Turkey, during the Ottoman rule and even after the Ottoman rule, after Kemal Atatürk came to power, it's been always, we had very good, very close relations with people to people. So if that's true, how could that relation maintain? Turkey has been supporting Palestine when it was under the Ottoman rule and after, when Kemal Atatürk came to power. And I have to say something. Many Palestinians fought in the Ottoman army, with the Ottoman army. There are 7 Palestinian, if you go to Shahidla and to the Ottoman mausoleum for the shaheeds of the Ottoman shaheeds of the South Caucasus army, and you see the names of people, there are 7 or 8 Palestinians who are from the cities of Nablus and the city of Al-Quds, who fought and spilled their blood and died martyred in Azerbaijan.
Looking forward, what specific areas do you envision for building closer relations between Azerbaijan and Palestine? Are there anticipated steps in fields such as education and the economy in the near future to facilitate this rapprochement?
Well, our relation has been always very good, as I pointed out to you. We don't need rapprochement for people who had some troubles in their relations. No, we never had troubles in our relations. A rather impressive development in the last 15, 20 years, and we could have programs of capacity building of Palestinians coming to Azerbaijan and gain from the experience, learn and gain from the Azerbaijani experience in the field of development in multiple sectors. So the future is promising in the Azerbaijani-Palestinian relations.
In November 2018, Azerbaijan hosted the Conference of Ambassadors of the State of Palestine in Asian countries. Do you believe such diplomatic initiatives have the potential to sustain and further develop inter-country relations?
Of course. I mean, it's not only that conference. There were many conferences that Azerbaijan has hosted in support of the Palestinian people and in support of the Palestinian cause. There were conferences in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2018, multiple conferences, and that reflects Azerbaijan's commitments and Azerbaijan's support to the Palestinian people to achieve their own independence and to establish their own state on the occupied Palestinian territories, including Al-Quds as its capital. Our relations between the Palestine and Azerbaijan goes since the beginning of regaining Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan regained its independence in the early 1990s. And even, I could say, even before that, even when Azerbaijan was part of the Soviet Union, there was a relation of friendship, very good friendship between the former leaders, Yasser Arafat and Haider Aliyev. They were very close friends. So this strengthens and cement these relations, and the expectations are that these relations will develop further and further in the future.
Considering the complexity of their connection, some people find it challenging to differentiate between Palestinian authorities and Hamas. What is the relationship between Ramallah and Hamas, and how does Hamas influence the internal and foreign policy of Palestine?
Well, the Palestinian has one recognized government, which is the government, the State of Palestine government, headed by President Mahmoud Abbas and formerly by President Yasser Arafat. Now, Hamas is a political party, and Hamas is a political party with a militia. It's a militant group, and it is part of the social fabric of the Palestinian society. We can't say that Hamas is not Palestinian. If you allow me, at the end of this interview, I would like to salute our people, the Palestinian people, who have shown great, under an extreme, unprecedented circumstances, a great courage and a great resilience. And above all, I want to salute the medical teams, the doctors, the nurses, who self-sacrificed, who were selfless for 40 days. They never left their hospitals. They never left their clinics, working an impossible job in the last 40 days, and they continue to do this till now. Thank you very much for letting me speak about this.
In closing, Mr. Ambassador, I want to thank you for sharing valuable insights. Our thoughts are with those affected by the recent conflict in Gaza.
Thank you very much for coming here. I would like to thank Baku TV for providing this opportunity to speak directly to the Azerbaijani public from my heart. Probably because I've been emotional during my talk, but because what you see, I think people would understand our people are dying under constant bombardment. So I thank you so much. I wish you success. I wish Baku TV to rise to greater heights in the future, and wish you all success in your future endeavors.
And we wish only peace in the world.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. That's what we seek. That's what we seek. Thank you.